What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about this tiny bit of information that has been sort of released. Unfortunately, again, it's something that was uh, seen on Twitter. So it's hard for me to get this information because I usually see it either in someone else's video or somebody lets me know about it, that it's on Twitter or something. But it was a screenshot of Eldora. I'm sure most of you have already seen it if you really look for the information. And also IDK Player, I believe his name is. He did post a video a couple days ago talking about that screenshot and stuff. So the screenshot itself, and if you haven't seen it, just go on Twitter and it's up there. It's an Eldora shot of the trucks. And the thing about this screenshot that stands out to me, excuse me, is that I like the screenshot. First of all, I know a lot of people are really down on graphics. The screenshot itself, it does look pretty good to me. I'm not telling you it's mind-blowing. It's a good-looking screenshot. And I'm assuming it is direct off the game, and it does look like a gameplay screenshot. But the thing that stands out most to me is the sky. Now, that's one thing that I neglected to really talk about when I talked about the graphics and this whole thing with, people being disappointed. I do see some improvements here and there. Nothing mind-blowing, but the sky is one thing that I do notice that is different. And even in the gameplay trailer, when you saw the gameplay, I believe at the road course, you could see the clouds in the sky and stuff. It was a bit more dynamic than last year. So it does look like they did, put some more attention to detail when it comes to the sky. And I'm guessing that it's easier for them to touch up the sky because the sky doesn't have a lot of detail. It's not like the track environments or the other parts of the game. The sky is pretty much blue and some static clouds, but now the clouds just look better. The color, there's a lot more color in the sky, and that screenshot in particular, I really like it. It looks like it's dusk or just around sunset, and the sky has different colors in it. It really looks nice, in my opinion. It's nothing mind-blowing, but it makes the whole screenshot look better. It just does. I really liked it. It's nothing mind-blowing, like I said, but check it out. It's a good-looking screenshot. So it does look like they put some more attention to the sky, at least. And that stuff does matter. Like I said before, they have to pay more attention to details. And that's definitely something that is, at least at this point, somewhat noticeable. Like I said, we don't have a lot of information, and we're almost at the end of July, so I don't know what they're waiting for. I am concerned that they're not really getting into details now and really talking more about the game. So that's something that is concerning to me. But the screenshot looks nice. I kind of liked it. So. The other thing is that this is something a lot of people have always talked about, and that's the day-to-night transition. And I also would love to see that. But, I've come to the realization we're not going to see that. And actually, according to someone, Sean Wilson already confirmed, someone asked him directly about it, and he said, no, you're not going to have day-to-night transition. So I'm not surprised about that. That's, a lot of people maybe, but not me. I kind of knew that wasn't going to be in the game. I think that was part of this new updated game engine debate that people were like, oh, man, we might have day-to-night transit. And I told people, you guys are getting way too carried away. You're expecting too much. It doesn't work that way. I went into it in detail, but I'm not surprised, and I knew there wasn't going to be day to night transitions. Now, the one thing that concerns me about that. Overall, I'm okay with it. It's, to me, it's not like a deal breaker or anything that's, something that's like, oh my God, this game's going to be horrible. I don't really remember if the older games had day to night transitions. You guys could help me out with that. My memory is not the best, but I don't really remembering that being a big deal. Now, the one thing that concerns me is Sean Wilson's answer was, as to why there's no day to night transition, was the sun would move too fast because a lot of people run short races. That answer is what that bothers me more than the fact that there's no day to night transition. To be honest with you, just that answer it's comical to me. It just sounds like a dumb answer. If you run shorter races and the sun moves too fast, so what? To me, that just tells, what I would tell people is, if you really want it to be more realistic, run a longer race. That's one of my issues I've had, and it's not with the developer. This is an issue I have with the community. You guys run nothing but short races, and it's not my business how you enjoy the game. It's up to you. But if somebody wanted to complain, if we did get day to night transition, that the sun is moving too fast, well, if you're running 5-10% races or whatever it is, yeah, it's going to move faster. If you want a more realistic experience, run longer races. That's what I do. The only time I've actually run less than 50% is when I've done videos to upload, which I don't do that many, but the times I have, I've run it at like 25%. But I normally run 100% races, and once in a while, a 50% race. But I get more satisfaction out of the game running longer races because, as I've always told you guys, NASCAR is a marathon, not a sprint. NASCAR is what it is because of how many miles these races are, how many laps they run. So much happens. There's so much strategy involved. And just trying to hit your marks lap after lap for 500 miles or 400 miles, whatever the case may be, that is what is more close to a real NASCAR experience than running a 5-10% race and just plowing your way through the field. And that's one of the things I try to convey to people so that you can try to enjoy the game more. If you want more enjoyment out of these games, believe me, if you run longer races, you will get more enjoyment out of it because there's more time invested in the race, and it pays off with a higher sense of accomplishment at the end of the race. How you finish matters that much more because you just ran 400 miles or whatever the case is. That's what NASCAR is about. And I think this is one reason I really hate online racing. All people do are quick sprints. That has nothing to do with NASCAR. The only thing that's NASCAR about it is the cars and the tracks. But the experience itself, a bunch of people just smashing into each other for like a 5% race, 4%, that's a joke. That's why I can't enjoy online racing. And I don't understand why people, once in a blue moon you'll see a 25% race, but you are actually hurting your own experience. Because that's not what NASCAR is about. And then you wonder why you don't enjoy these games as much. Is part of the reason is you. You got to put yourself in that cockpit and be willing to run a 100% race. And I promise you, you will enjoy the game more. The game just runs differently when you run these quick sprints. It's just the way you race is different because you only have an X amount of laps to get to the front. So people don't race realistic. They just smash their way through the front. That's not realistic. So if you're wondering why you don't enjoy these games as much as you could, I'm not saying there's no problem on the game side, but a lot of the issues are directly related to people. How you play this game, it makes a big difference. So I always try to treat the game as realistic as possible. I run 100% race. I only run in cockpit mode. I for me, it takes a lot out of the experience when you race in third person, when you see the entire car. And like I said, I'm not trying to tell people how to play their game. It's, you enjoy it the way you want. But I'm just suggesting that if you want to find a little more enjoyment out of it, then you should try to treat it more to real life. And you're not going to get the complete view of everyone around you when you're in cockpit mode, but that's the way real NASCAR drivers race. And that's what would make a good spotter that much more critical. Now, the spotter in this game needs a lot of work, but the point is that if you race that way, I think you'll enjoy the game more. And you will get a higher sense of accomplishment when you finish top 5. It feels like, wow, I really earned that. That's it about that. But my main point is that this day to night transition, maybe that would spur people to run longer races and get a different, more realistic experience. So that answer about we didn't put it in because the sun would move too fast for people that run these short sprint races, that's a stupid answer. It's a horrible answer. That's not an excuse not to put something like that in the game. Now, like I said, if they didn't put, I know why they really didn't put it in the game. It's because they just didn't think about it. And they spent most of their time and resources on the dirt racing and adding the dirt series. They already admitted that the vast majority of their work for this year's game was focused on that. So why can't you just come out and tell people, look, there's a lot of things we just couldn't get to because we were focused on the dirt stuff, and we only have a small amount of time to get all this done, to make sure we get this game out and we accomplish certain things. We're not going to get to everything. We're sorry, but that's just the way it is. We'll try to get to it next year, or we promise we will. Whatever the case is, but I prefer honesty. Always. I don't want publishers or developers bullshitting me. Don't fucking lie to me. And you lie to people and you get, oh, the sun moves too fast. It would throw things off. So what? If it moves too fast, it moves too fast. And if people find that a concern, guess what? Turn it up. Run a 50%, 100% race, and then you'll get a better experience. The sun movement will be more realistic. What do you care? That's a stupid answer. There's things like that piss me off. And also, it's like they're not marketing this, the way they market things, they don't really release a lot of information. What are you waiting for? And only going through Twitter, when people ask you specific questions, you know damn well there are certain things about this game that people have been asking for or talking about or are wondering, is it in the game? You don't need to wait till somebody asks you. Make a list of things that's in the game and a list of things that are not in the game that you know everybody's concerned with. Like, for instance, burnouts. Can you fucking do burnouts? Do you have to wait for 10,000 people to fucking ask you on Twitter to address that? If there's no burnouts, just tell us. The sooner we know what's not in the game, the sooner we can kind of get over that disappointment and focus on the things that are in the game. You're fucking shooting your own self in the foot by constantly marketing the way that you do. With this lack of information, with only addressing certain things through Twitter. Put a fucking video out on your site, which is vastly underused, and on YouTube or wherever, on Twitter, everywhere you can, and make a video where you talk in detail about the features and the things that are in the game, and address the things that are not in the game that you know people have on their mind. So, doing burnouts and stuff like that, yeah, it's not the end of the world, but if people know right away that it's not in the game, we just couldn't get to it, yeah, you're going to get people who get upset. You're going to get people that are disappointed. It's inevitable. But if you get that out of the way, the sooner you get it out the way, the sooner people have the time to get over it and focus on the good stuff. And there is good stuff. There's a lot to be excited about. And that's the shame of it, that 704, their horrible marketing, their way of releasing information, all this stuff, is they're hurting themselves. Because now release day is right around the corner. It's really not that far away. What the fuck are you guys waiting for? So you're going to wait till people buy the game and then realize there's no burnout, there's no this, there's no that. So these things may not be that big of a deal, but if you find out about it when it's you already bought the game, or it's at the last minute, you are hurting the marketing. You're hurting the fan base and the enthusiasm that you could have if you can get them to focus on the good stuff. And I don't fucking get it, man. I'm gonna do another video about the marketing and the business side of things, so I'm not gonna say anything else about it. But the screenshot, that's all we got recently. I like the screenshot. I think it looks good. I really like the sky. Going back, looking at the other clips in the trailer, the sky does look improved. I do see a difference from that in the last game. Is that a big deal? No. Is it enough to get people to fucking say, wow, you know what? I can see the big difference with the graphic upgrade, with the graphics engine. No, it's not. But I told you guys. You guys are expecting too much. It's not realistic, and that's not how these game engines work. And I tried to convey to you what the real issues are. And it's where these guys are focused, the decisions they make as they move along. And overall, I still believe they are headed in the right direction. That doesn't mean I like everything they've done, or that I'm not disappointed with a lot of stuff. Knowing now there's no paint booth, even though they haven't officially said it, I know there's not. And I told you guys why. But I can get over that, because last year's customization, the actual system is not bad at all. It reminds me of the old EA games, which worked. The problem is they don't give you enough options with the fonts, with the numbers, with the templates. Not enough templates. Give us the ability to put our name on our car, our real names. Let us color the wheels anywhere. All these little things, they matter. So you flesh that out more, you give us more options. Nobody's going to really say, oh my God, no paint booth. Including myself, who's a huge paint booth fan. But I can get over it if I know that you did address these other things. Which I'm assuming there's no way they're going to release this game with the exact same option level in the customization. They had to have added something. So I'll be shocked if they didn't. And I will go apeshit if they didn't. But there's no reason for me to believe they didn't address some of that. Okay? My concerns with the DLC and stuff like that I talked about, but that's really all there is to talk about in terms of information. Hopefully sometime soon they actually do something that is more widespread in terms of information. I don't know what they're waiting for, and really just answering people on Twitter every once in a while, and then it's hard. A lot of people don't even know that this stuff was talked about on Twitter. So you guys, they got to do better. You guys got to do better. And don't wait till the last minute. If there are things that people are concerned about, address those concerns right away. Don't wait. Because if you're honest with people, they will be more receptive. So, what do you guys think about my comments? I look forward to what you got to say. So, have a good one.